You are now here at Respect the Goats, where we do nothing but respect each other in this room. That is one of the main rules. We are doing no name calling, no disrespecting. We will be talking
Facts.
about many things on different levels when it comes to GOAT situations. And we also talk about real life. We also talk about sports. We talk about relationships and much, much more. So tune in every other Tuesday right here at Respect the Goats with my fellow host, CEO P, my other fellow host, Double XL, my other fellow host, like I said, probably the second best of the GOATs, my man Phrase holding it down.
Wow.
Shout out my man Pinky Ring. But yeah, man, P man, let's get this day started, man. It's 6 o'clock,
Let's
man. How
get
you
it
guys
popping.
feeling?
I'm doing amazing, man. Phrase, what up?
What's good, fellas? How you living?
Everything good, man. Everything good.
Yeah,
With uh-oh.
Oh God, Mr.
It's the
Rebuttal,
Mac.
what's up?
It's the Mac with the Ronies.
Dun dun dun.
Vaughn, I knew you was hoping I wouldn't be here, Vaughn, but I'm
No,
here.
I want you always here with us, brother. I want you always here with us, brother. But
It's
it
the
was it
greatest
was
show.
it was strange how your rebuttal just was like perfect timing because we was picking bigging up phrase. We already did our intro and everything, so it was just like, yo, it was weird. It was a moment. What's good,
What's
big
good with
dog?
y'all, man?
All right, Phrase.
Hey, nothing.
Yeah, you know what time it is. Topics in the chat. Phrase, what's good?
Man, we gotta start with Jocelyn. She hot off the press, man.
What?
Yo,
What?
yo, did y'all see Jocelyn packing these girls up and putting her in a lunchbox show?
Man, listen, man.
Gosh
If the
almighty.
if the
Yo,
chicken with the rice was the rice with the chicken in the snack box, bro,
Who wants to introduce the topic?
man, I can't even introduce it, man. I only seen it, so I'll talk about it. But I'm gonna let one of y'all introduce this one.
So look, man, Jocelyn. First of all, Jocelyn is working. You know what I mean? She got a podcast coming. She's on the TV show College Hill. I don't watch it, but it's on BET. It comes on, I think, BET Plus. And she was moving around. She performed at Floyd's fight. I didn't even know Floyd was fighting last weekend. Like I didn't even know that went down. He allegedly fought like somebody from the Gotti family. It's crazy. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, man. So on the television show, which they didn't air the episode, Jocelyn was arguing with Amber Rose. Y'all remember Amber Rose? Kanye, Wiz Khalifa. So they was having an argument about race, and she basically told Amber Rose, "You really want to be a white girl, like you're not proud of your black side." That's I guess that's where she was going. So Amber Rose was basically saying, "Hey man, you can't really talk about being is it called biracial? Is that what he called it? Can't really talk about being biracial if you're not biracial. Like I identify with who I identify, you know what I mean, with, and that's that." So Jocelyn, in true Jocelyn fashion, I do what I want to do. So she's popping off. Amber Rose goes, you think she's walking out, and then they get to tussling.
Mm.
They get to tussling, right? So that's one tussle. You don't see the full tussle of that. But I think Amber Rose got hands on the low, right? So Jocelyn cleaned her up. They just got a couple tussling. But boy, there's some girl named Big Lex, and she was behind the scenes at the Floyd fight. Jocelyn had already performed, I'm assuming. She's backstage. You just see a video clip of Jocelyn cleaning this girl up. There's a dude basically saying, "Save the girl. Please. She's dying. This girl is killing her." Jocelyn was mopping her up. I don't know what their beef was. I don't know where it started. But yeah, Jocelyn wilding out, man.
man, I got one question because she slapped a lot of people. Yo, I think at one point I saw me and CEOP get slapped in that video. She slapped a lot of people, yo. She slapped security. She just slapping people, yo.
Yeah,
Ain't
she
nobody checked that slapping.
she was definitely going off real major, yo, in a lot of different ways. I'm not okay. This is my take on. First of all, and this is still on subject, but it's a little off subject. So just to make it clear and get to the point, I don't know how to take it, right? Because like all of a sudden we see the drama, we see Amber walk up, and then oh well, we can't show you this. And then I go back and I look at it and I see one person sitting in the corner and I seen Ray J. And once I
That's my
seen Ray
guy.
J, I said, you
You
know
know what
what?
time it is.
I don't know if I can believe any of this because, you know, how they portray things and then people just fall for it. You know, drama and nonsense bring dollars, which I do understand. I don't believe it was real. Now that other joint, that joint where she basically walking shorty all across the arena or wherever they was at, she was doing some dirt to her. And I don't even know who that woman was. So she might have a little lawsuit, possibly. I don't know. But at this point, I just think Jocelyn and Amber Rose, I think they're just trying to survive as media faces. I don't really take too much from what was going on. I think it's
I
staged.
got I got a question I want to throw to the room, and this is on subject, but it's more from a serious place. Um, people who pop off real quick, very short tempered, anger management type issues, like a Jocelyn, who's always into some type of altercation or verbal altercation, physical, whatever. Why in society we tend to try to call these people the toughest people when in reality, if you look at it, people like that are probably the most sensitive. That's why they continuously get into things like that. Why don't we look at those people as the sensitive ones?
I mean, it just all depends on who perspective is coming from. Like if you asking me, I feel like you are emotional because you obviously acting out on emotion. But at the same time, I feel like society is looking at them because they're beating these people up as opposed to getting their ass beat. Because somebody getting their ass beat, you ain't looking at them as tough. They just happen to be beating somebody up. And Jocelyn ain't always in the wrong. She just always in a fight. So because she ain't always in the wrong, they not looking at her like a bully. They looking at her. Sometimes they are, but they looking at her like shit. She out here like in it's not even the deal. She just ain't ran that can truly fight. Everybody else like talking. Most females ain't trying to get in the fight. They just trying to talk and walk away. Jocelyn ain't letting you walk away, so that's just a difference in opinion when going into the situation. But that's their fault.
Hmm. Um, I totally agree with phrase. It depends on the person's um, perception of what they're viewing, how they take it. I feel like from what I was looking at, staged or not, I feel like Amber Rose was like still trying to have a regular conversation and hold her own in a respectful manner, and then Jocelyn was like, I could say what I want to say out my mouth, and that goes to X point of her being sensitive. She was so I feel like she was even sensitive to a woman being a woman and just saying it's not about that. And like her tone was still like, I'm trying to have a conversation. We cool. Like what are you going somewhere else with this? And Jocelyn definitely went somewhere else with that. And that probably is the sensitive spot that she just can't, she can't stand to be wrong, or maybe just your opinion don't matter to her.
It ain't even wrong. She can't stand to be. I don't even want to use challenge. I mean, anytime somebody has an opposing thought to what she's saying,
Mm.
it's like
I
she
mean,
goes from 0 to 100.
all right. So just to dive a little bit deeper into that conversation, what I kind of took from it, because Amber Rose, contrary to what some of us may believe, like she actually is black. She has a black mother. That's something I didn't really know. I just thought she was 100% white. Daddy white, mama black. And what Jocelyn was trying to say is like, girl, I know you black. And Amber was saying like, shit, let me identify what I want to identify, because she don't necessarily always identify as black. So that conversation was going somewhere a little bit deeper, and I think that's why it ended up with her getting up. Once again, it could be staged, but at the same time, like when I was listening to the conversation, it wasn't like a normal conversation because it's some childhood things in there, and that's how it flipped from her saying,
Praise,
okay, so you ain't saying that you not trying to be black, you just saying that fuck black, you want to be white, and then that's where the shit went left.
Well,
praise. You hitting on something that's very deep in our culture. And
very
I
deep.
want y'all
Very
fellas
deep.
to think about this when we talk about the black, white, light skin, mulatto mix, whatever, any of those. When we talk about those layers, it's like we really typecast people off of physical appearance. And this takes me back to a couple of months ago where people were really upset with what's the rapper? Uh, he redid Ice Cube "Today Is a Good Day" cover.
I'm not sure. I didn't
Um,
know that.
what what's the boy name? You know I'm talking about. PP. What's the Logic? Is it Logic?
Might be.
Logic. Yeah, the rapper.
Yes,
He's
it
mixed, right?
is Logic, and it was trash.
Yeah. Now the song's trash. That's one thing. But I really listened to. I was checking Joe Buttons and I'm out, and they was really tearing this guy a new one based off his physical appearance, saying that he wasn't a part of the culture and that's why he shouldn't have did this song solely based off what he looks like when one of his parents is black. That's crazy to me. But when Drake does it, is acceptable. Why? Because it sounds good. Because a lot of what Drake does is culture jacking. Let's be honest. He's from Canada. He didn't grow up with a lot of these styles. He just sounds good doing it. And I'm like, yo, we pick and choose who we do it with. Because if Drake looked like Logic, he might not be able to do it. All right, fellas.
Hmm.
I
I
mean,
like that. I like that. I really like that. Shout out to 456 in the room. You got an opinion on this real quick?
450, what up?
Peace, peace, y'all.
Peace.
Everybody doing good?
Yes,
You
sir.
know it. What's up, brother?
Ain't nothing, man. Up in here, chefing up in the kitchen. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm
Literally
talking about. Ain't
chefing
nothing
up,
wrong with it.
listening to my guys. No, I remember the whole thing with Logic, and I'm just gonna echo what you was just talking about, X. Um, it's kind of rough, like you said, when certain people do it based on it's just like sexual harassment. Not to jump way off the roof or off the bridge, but it's just like when certain women will let a guy say certain things to them, and then the guy they find less attractive or something say the same thing or approach them. Sometimes it's all in, well, how you look. You know what I'm saying? So it's similar that we let Drake, because even personally, when Drake say the N word, sometimes for me, I cringe a little bit, even though he's black. I cringe a bit, just a little bit. But that's just to echo where you was on, X.
While we on that subject, I cringe. It's not the N word with Drake. I cringe more when he says colloquialisms like "spin the block" and "ops." Like I'm like, yo, what are you doing?
But hold up. Are we saying that like, when we talking about spinning the block and ops, are we talking about because he's from Canada or because he looks the way he looks? Which one is it?
No, the whole package of what Drake is and what Drake represents.
Yeah, I
Why
think
is
it's
he
all of it
even
for me.
Why is he pushing that? He doesn't
I
have
mean,
to.
he doesn't necessarily have to, but look at the youth. The youth
It
is
sounds good.
essentially doing the same thing. They ain't out here doing half that shit, but they also saying the same thing. They, I mean, essentially, he's playing to his audience. That's the reason he been number one for 10 years. Like he continues to evolve, even though that might not necessarily be him. He just giving them what they want. That's exactly what they want. They gonna eat it up as long as he giving it to them.
Yeah.
Respectfully. Respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else want to talk about anything about this topic?
What if Ice Cube came out today? Wouldn't he be like Elijah? I mean, not Ice Cube, but Ice T.
Wait, what you mean?
Ice T?
What you mean?
That nigga
I,
practically white.
I don't think Ice T would ever be close to
See that
Logic.
that's what we need to talk. We need to talk about the nuances of this. Yes, but culturally how Ice-T moves and talk compares to culturally how Logic moves and talk. I think we don't allow people to live in layers. We want to put them in a box. And
Right.
But
once Ice-T opened his mouth, we're like, oh no, he one of us.
nah,
Right.
but
And
see,
when
my thing
Logic
is,
talks, we automatically throw him on the other side. No, he's one of them, as
so because
opposed
of
to
how
looking
he
at
sound
it
is what you're saying? Because I feel like if
how he
Logic came
sound.
out spitting the same lyrics, he still wouldn't be accepted. If he spit those same Ice-T lyrics, even if he had the same demeanor, niggas still gonna look at him like, you a white boy.
I think Ice
I,
T
I
is the
don't.
wrong one to use.
Hmm?
Ice T is definitely a brother. Like it's no way around that.
No, I'm gonna give you a better example. Cause it's
Yeah.
white boys with swag, and we don't say they trying to be black. We accept like what's the boy from Cali
Travis
that had a
Kelsey.
hit song? Huh?
Travis Kelsey.
No, the boy. Well, he's one. What's the guy?
That's
He
a good
rap.
one.
He rap. He was real smooth. He from the Bay Area. He had a hit record maybe he during COVID. I can't even think what the record was, but he was riding the joint. Oh my God.
Oh, you talking
Um,
about my boy Jack Hollow?
no, Jack Harlow. Not Jack Harlow. I like Jack Harlow, but I'm talking about no. This guy was from the Bay Area. He
Mm.
had a song.
Oh,
It was a
I,
hit record. It'll come to me shortly.
all right, bet.
But
Don't
Jack
nobody
Harlow's another great example. Like
who?
he got a certain type of swag to him, and we don't be like he trying to
I
be.
I true I actually feel like Jack Harlow was kind of forced into being accepted in a sense. Like when he came out, like it really wasn't that high. I feel like it was a strong media pushing campaign for that nigga to be accepted. If I'm just being honest, because it's not like his music is crazy. Like damn, like I hear it on everybody playlist. Like for him to be accepted how he is, his music doesn't correspond in my view. So
But
I feel like it was a
but
media push
yeah,
behind him specifically.
but it's still he still has the formula
Yeah,
though. He
yeah.
has a '90s formula. What I mean by '90s formula, uh, if we go look category, he has a look. We know what he's going to target market to. We know that, and he can like he passes the rhyme check. You can listen to his rhymes, and he's not whack at all in no sense of
Right.
fashion. He can go like he's a top tier spitter. Whether you like that type of rapping, that is a whole nother conversation. But if you know what lyrics sound like, nah, he the real deal.
I heard the young man a long time ago, and I was like, who is this white kid? He dope. Matter of fact, you know how you always see like a up and coming artist on Instagram or something, or you just might be strolling on Facebook and you just be like, dang, that joint was alright. This was like 4 years
Hmm.
ago, bro. And I was like, who is this guy? And I wanted to
You
know
like
more about him. So I definitely think he's
you
a
like a nugget?
I
You
don't
know
I
what? I hold on, time out. I don't mean to cut y'all off, but I
Go
just
ahead.
thought of the white guy. The white
oh
guy. If I one time I'm a wiper. If I hit two times I'm a night.
that's a white dude?
Yes.
Wow.
It ain't safe. It ain't safe. It ain't safe. He had what's calling on the song. He had the black guy on the song. That's a white boy. They got that first verse, and that's his song. It's
I
a
do
white
not
guy.
I do not know that at all.
But
Like
I don't
I
want to get too far off topic. I appreciate y'all thoughts on that. It's a lot to think about, and I think the main point is
hey,
layers to this, man.
hey. We get deep with everything we do around here, man. It's respect the goats, man. Every Tuesday, check in. 6 o'clock, we right here, man. You know what I'm saying? Phrase, you can go ahead and get into the next topic.
Let's talk about Zion, man. This boy hot.
Man, I really don't know too much about the Zion story, but
I get it.
what
I
I
got it.
read,
I got it.
what I read, but
Phrase say
Talk.
he
outside of
got
that,
it.
it's
He's a
crazy.
target.
Yeah, go ahead, Phrase.
Man, Zion got a baby on the way. He was like, man, look, I'm excited. Let me go ahead, compose something, let the world know. He put it out there on Instagram, got a great response. And then his favorite porn star came into the picture, Mariah Mills. Obviously, he was watching her growing up. He got real excited. He grew up, got money, was like, this is my chance to finally get to say something. Got in there and went crazy. Went bananas. She over here is telling putting tweets up saying, "Look, oh, you out here getting thoughts pregnant. I told you they, going to trap you up. You out here doing it to me raw. You ain't tell me all this other type of stuff. Getting mad blast. He ain't trying to say nothing. But then another one, not a porn star, but another chick come out talking about the same thing, posting pics on Instagram with him laid up in the bed, talking about, oh, you sleep in my bed, but you got chicks out here pregnant. Zion is wilding. Boy, get money. He's injured. I'm beginning to think this why he injured. What's your thoughts?
Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, he can't get back up, dog. This right here is showing us exactly why he cannot perform. He's doing too much bumping and grinding. The man knees is bad, legs is bad. I don't think he's really played a superstar caliber game in a very long time. I don't think he's played a game in a long time, if I'm not mistaken. Phrase, let me know.
I mean, he played this year. I mean, he missed
Okay.
some time this year. He came out. He missed some time in the beginning. Came. They had a nice little run with him. Got
Mm,
injured again. Went back out. So I mean,
Yeah.
but while he's played there, they was. I mean, shit. They was winning games, getting back in position. Every time he's on the court, he's effective.
okay.
I got two questions for y'all. One is hypothetical. You ain't got to answer, just something to think about. Then I
Mm,
have a real question. My
okay.
hypothetical question is, when have y'all ever in life, like your life been in shambles? Ain't nothing going right. You wrong. It's all your fault. Your
Mm.
misfortunes of your life. And when you ever say, you know what? I need to tighten up. I'm gonna stop getting poon. You ain't never said that. Now,
I
time for the real question. Real
I
question.
have.
no. Can I answer that?
I have. That's why he
What? No,
played
that's a
there.
hypothetical. That's a
No,
hypothetical.
I think I need
I,
to answer that. For the men, I just need to
I'll
answer that,
follow
bro.
up.
It is my man is he's a sexual predator. Let's just be honest.
Yo, and I ain't gonna laugh.
For me, and I'm saying it like this, and I'm keeping it a band, I'm keeping it a whole buck right now, right? Because you can't have the chicken with the rice without the rice without the chicken. Point blank. Period. I know for a fact I'm a sexual predator, right? And I don't mean like on
be
some.
careful how you use that term. You might want to use
I'm
another
breaking it
term.
Yeah,
down
he
right now.
wilding.
I'm not talking about dealing with children and no shit like that, but I just like to deal with many different women. Why, I don't know.
That's not a
However,
predator, man. Stop
however,
saying
what I'm
predator.
saying is we find ourselves prioritizing our physical needs more than sometimes our goals, dreams, just even if it's our day job or whatever the fuck is we really supposed to be handling in life, and we get caught up. And that's just where Zion at right now. He's caught up. He's living
All right.
his best life with the money. So his characteristics are already increased with the money. So this is just what he it's just part of his nature.
Go ahead, praise. But then I got to get to my real question.
Man, go ahead with your real question. He went left. I don't even want to say nothing.
Yeah.
Don't be scared, man. Don't be scared.
No,
This is the
I know
world.
what you meant. That just wanted the proper wording. We'll get back to
Respectfully.
that. But what I was saying was, my real question is, what percentage of I just think he got caught. I don't see where he's doing anything. Well, we know what's wrong with it, but I don't think he's doing anything outside of the norm that is somebody in their early 20s who's coming to that type of money be doing. Now, what Deshaun Watson did, that's sexual predator level. What Zion is
Correct.
doing is what a young guy from South Carolina with multi-million dollars would do. What a
That's
young guy
big.
from Virginia or Carolina or Tennessee or anywhere do. My question to y'all, how many guys that grew up in Zion's situation that's living like Zion right now is doing the exact same thing? Percentage. If you had to say a percentage, what would the percentage be? Half? 75% of them? 80% of them? Which I think.
95.
That okay. So with that being said, let's not act like Zion is all the way out of bounds. He got caught. He got put out there.
Right.
That's
Right.
what out of bounds is. And I think he's not his savviness. He doesn't have the savviness because he grew up in Carolina, and he might be a little green with somebody who grew up in a big city, no better than be taking pictures and stuff. And we know the sucker for love dude. He might love all of them. Like he might really be in love with them. Y'all know what I'm talking about when I say that.
Yes, sir.
So he letting them do goofball things to him and he's trying to figure it out on the go. I don't know. This is all speculation.
Well, I think you really got a great point with that, honestly. But my man hit. They gonna make him do therapy and everything, bro.
For what? What
Because
law did he break?
because now because
Damn.
see because it's only like that because you are a representative of what we call major sport corporation, right? So to help us make you look better, this is what we're gonna help you with.
I mean, I feel you, but
You
he
don't have to be 100% into it, but
Is he
just do
doing
it.
anything different than Dennis Rodman did?
nah, like I think it got to get way past the point it's at now for that to happen. Like it's plenty of scams out there, and he just got into the league. Like it's really no way of saying that he had a problem. And the thing is, it's no way of verifying how long he been with any of these women. No one knows if Mariah Mills is truly spitting facts or anything, because she can. All she has is a couple of texts. You know what I'm saying? So they ain't about to do all that on my man's like just yet. Like if that continues,
What
like
Black?
X
I
said
think of
with
what I'm
Deshaun
trying to get
Watson.
at. Yeah, what I'm trying to get at is, and because and maybe I'm missing something. I only read headlines, so I may not know. What are we saying that he did that's so deviant that is going to call for that?
Nah, I don't think he did anything that's gonna call for no therapy or
Okay.
nothing like that. Like I think it was just more so like if for instance, if he have a couple more kids and then he still got 5, 6 mistresses, something like that, then obviously, you know what I'm saying, what you doing in the off season, you continuously injured, like it's a pattern and you not performing at your job. Like that's when the therapy comes in because nobody is seeing results, not in your personal life or in your job. You got a problem
I
with it.
got you.
You know what I'm saying? But like right now, like really it's just him getting in shape. I feel like him getting in shape, that's going to take care of the job part. The personal life, they don't give two fucks.
Well, all that what he doing, he should be getting in plenty shape.
Weak. You right though.
AX, can I say something?
Talk to me.
Now, I'm just like you said, we all speculating, but I think kind of what your question is, like you said, why are they putting it under such scrutiny or whatever? And I think it's probably maybe the underlying thing is because one of the like if he was just dealing with multiple women, and these women were not really of a certain notoriety, it wouldn't even be about too much or too much. But the fact that the one being what's my girl Mariah Mills came out with whatever, and because it's like, oh, you dealing with a porn star now, I think they're correlating that like he's some sort of deviant. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Just because,
yeah,
oh, he had to go to that level to get his sexual needs off. But it's like you said, he may have grew up, or I think Phrase said that somebody may have grew up, he was watching her or whatever. But I think because one of the women by trade it deals in sex. Now they're looking at it like, oh, this is why you can't get in shape. This is why they're just making a whole movie out of it, maybe based
and
on that.
the crazy part for me, I'm more questionable about her action than his, because for the field she in, that seems to be uncharacteristic. That she is, her feelings hurt because you got a baby on the way
Facts.
for somebody in her profession. That's very uncharacteristic.
I thought the exact same thing, bro, when I first seen her comment.
What was that again? Say that part again, X.
It's uncharacteristic for a woman in that type of field to be upset from what a man does outside of her, because those women typically don't expect a lot from
Nah,
men.
nah,
That's that pillow
nah
talking. He
I feel
telling her
like you
something
wrong,
else.
X, because it's not for them to not feel something. It's for them to act out on their feelings. They still a woman. They gonna feel something regardless. I can guarantee that. But for them to act out on it, and like you said, it's expected. So why would they act out on it? So she might just not be able to control her feelings in this point. But I feel like every woman would feel something, no matter if they. Uh, I ain't gonna go down there, but no matter what they do.
I know what you're saying. You're absolutely right. But the act out part, I guess, was throwing me off. Like, really? Like that's just that's Seems weird to me. Like very, that's weird.
It's almost like I can laugh at what you said because I love the way you doing it, bro. Like, hold on, like you a whole sloth out here and you mad at me.
Because
You know
I
what I'm
most
saying?
faithfully, like you're gonna go to work and suck like what? But but you mad because that that's hilarious to me.
Yeah,
Like you just left work, you took an 8 piece.
just left work.
Wildin'.
Oh shit. Yo, shout out to what's her name? I don't even know her name. I thought she was a slob. She ain't doing her job right. Something ain't
Yeah,
right.
what's her name? I need to
Hey
look her
yo.
up.
Oh
Man,
God,
anybody else want to talk
I'm,
on this before we move on?
I'm yeah, I'm tripping off this one. Go ahead, phrase.
All right, let's see what we got next. NY announces reparations. P, you got more on that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So what it is New York City is jumping in to the same space that California is, and they're proposing a bill on to give Black African Americans reparations. You know what I mean? It's kind of sketchy on everything that means. So they haven't really broke it down. Like we don't know all the details yet. But yeah, the bill is absolutely proposed, man. What's everybody's thoughts, man?
I have my own. Me and P, we both cooked on this. I don't know what the details are for reparations. I
We
have my
did.
own like blueprint for what I think would be. What I don't want to use the word fair because there's no fair way to do it. There's no fair. And I look at it from two ways. Before I say this, I want y'all to understand I'm a guy of historical academia. When I say things, they don't always go off my personal opinion. It goes with what I know about historical facts. So don't y'all be coming at me for something that hurts y'all little black button. If you'll see what I'm saying in a minute, just pay attention to what I'm saying, and then I'm gonna try to make it make sense. I don't see a fair way to do reparations because it's gonna hurt everybody. If white people give us what they truly owe us, it will cripple their whole existence. And I'm not saying they don't. That is not supposed to be like that. I'm just saying what it would do, and that's why it's never going to happen that way. Um, and you can't pay for somebody's mind state. Now, what I do think, and this is my proposal, if I was running for office, my proposal for reparations would be that black people pay absolutely no taxes on anything whatsoever, ever. We live in a tax-free society. We don't pay nothing in taxes. We still get the tax returns,
I
whatever
like that.
tax breaks we get all of that. We would go to school for free, any type of schooling, any type of trade, we will get for free, and we will get land. What I mean by land, every single casino, every lottery, things like this that the government makes money off of, or big white conglomerates make money off, will belong to the African American race as a whole, and they would benefit from those things that generate that type of money, as opposed to these big conglomerates. Now, that still wouldn't even out 400 years of free labor, but I think it would be a great start, and it's an easy way to ease Black Americans into some wealth and into some free education and into some things without crippling the white side, which would probably be good for nobody. That's just my thoughts.
Hey, let me share some interesting facts too, man. California actually opened up and went a little deeper about it. California feels like that they're responsible as a state for more than 500 billion due to decades of over policing, mass incarceration, and redefining that redlining. that kept black families from receiving loans and living in certain neighborhoods. California's state budget last year was 308 billion. Reparations in New York could also come with a hefty price tag. Thoughts?
I ain't got no thoughts. I just got a statement. Like, understand, like, we weren't brought here from Africa. If you do any researching, only 300,000 came from Africa. 300,000 ain't enough to populate how it is here today. We were indigenous to here. They know that. Reparations is would only be and for always be a band-aid because we don't know the truth. And until we realize that, or until they allow us to realize that by saying it out loud, no matter what they give us in reparations, it's not going to be enough to X's point because all this land is ours. Not building America, the entire America is ours, and it's been ours.
How do you come to that conclusion? Four fifth. Any opinion on this?
Man, I'm over here just I'm over here just taking it back, bro. I'm just kind of receiving all the information, man. My feelings is, bro. X kind of touched on it, man. Ain't gonna be no equivalent to really. You know what I was just over here processing? 400. The number 400. I was really, really just processing that. Like I know it sounds simple, and maybe y'all have already went through it, but for me, it's like, yo, 400, not 100 years. 100 years of slavery is wild. 200
Facts.
years of slavery is
Yeah.
wild.
You know
200,
what's
Jesus, 2 centuries, not 2 decades. So
you know what's
400 years.
you know what's crazier than that, bro? That you got to look at. We're just counting slavery. We're not even
Yeah,
counting the aftermath of slavery. I watched this
yeah,
small
no.
documentary. Yeah,
I'm processing the whole thing, bro.
yeah.
I'm processing the whole thing. It's like
Um,
sometimes you just, when you were younger and you hear about it, when you was in
yeah,
school, you hear about 400 years. But when now that we all up in our age and we really understand what time means and the value of damn, my kids is getting 400 years. It's like you
yeah,
said, you couldn't really give me know a particular dollar amount. So I would propose, like you said, the thing that you was talking about with the taxation and being taxed as well. But anyway, that was my feelings of just really listening to that. And
yeah,
furthermore, I know when you first brought it up, I said, oh yeah, we must be them aliens must really be about to be here. If they even thinking of giving us any kind of bread.
yeah. That redlining is such a serious thing. I was watching a small documentary, and I learned about this in school, but to really get it in another way, and again, I think it had to do with being older and understanding what buying a house is and all the steps it takes. That redlining is a serious thing, and it's the reason why we're kind of behind, or partly because why we're behind. Because I used to always wonder. I don't know if I told you all this or who I was talking to. If y'all heard this story, stop me because I ain't trying to bore y'all to death. But when I first started teaching, um, I would know, when I left work, I would go home to my apartment, and the white teachers would go home to their home that they own, and I'm like, "Yo, we make the same thing. How am I struggling in this apartment and they're a homeowner?" And I didn't really make the connection until I got older and I realized like after World War I, World War II, when America was trying to bounce its economy back and so it was openly giving people loans and GI bills to get a home, they weren't giving it to us. They was giving it to the average white person. That's who could get it. And now these white kids, fast forward 100 years, 80, 90, 100 years later, are inheriting the house that their parents would bought. So now they can buy a bigger house because they grew up to own it. They were given a house. They were given that house. So all these white people owning homes that work the same job you got, they started a leg up because their parents owned a home that they was able to inherit and sell or keep to build their particular wealth in that way. Imagine Fifth, imagine Bond, imagine Black that on you turn 18 and you say, fuck it, I ain't going to college, I ain't doing this. You just go work at the shipyard. But your parents got a house for you. Like, here go your house. You ain't got rent. Imagine not having rent, bro. What
That's why
type
the
of
brother Young Guru. Nah, I don't know
yeah?
if you caught that Guru when he was on Math Hoffa show and he was breaking down how we always like to compare life to a game of chess. He's like it's kind of good in theory, but it's not really that accurate. For that same reason of what you're saying. In chess, we all start off with the same equal amount of pieces. In life, that's not true.
Facts. Facts. Yeah, man. I like where we're going with this conversation, man. Y'all boys cooking today. But the truth of the matter, like y'all said, I think we all came to the grand conclusion. There's nothing they can do to really even that score. But it seemed like for years they was like they won't even try.
I feel like it's gonna end up looking like a stimulus bill. Like just how niggas ended up getting a check for about 1,200, 1,400. Like I feel like that's what some states, that's the max that they gonna do and gonna get. Like I feel like it's gonna end up like that just so I feel like it's a band-aid just because we've been talking about it. Let's kind of give them a little bit something so it's no chaos.
And running a business, the most expensive thing you're going to pay for is your manual labor, is your people. People are the most, that's going to suck up the biggest part of your budget in any business you run. Not the machinery, because once you got the machine, you got the machine. That machine is going to make you money. People are going to cost you. So imagine your whole business plan being backed by free labor. You can't pay that back. You got to give up everything you got. And imagine that. Imagine that, yeah. Sound like we done with that. What we got?
AP, what's going on in Denver? I just seen this.
Man, so while Donald Trump is getting indicted and why the Denver Nuggets had just won the championship, shout out to them. Congratulations, well deserved. Didn't see it coming. There was a massive shooting the same night, man, in Denver. 9 people, man. 9 people, man. They don't know. They don't know the cause, and it like kind of lightly got reported, man.
Lightly got. Like, did they catch the person?
Let me go. Y'all talk about it, man. Let me see if we got an update yet, man. It's because it literally happened last night.
Was it like in a crowd or during the march or something? They had
How
like a little
y'all
parade.
feel? I'm checking to see if there's an update now. Yeah, gunfire reported in the 2000 block of Market Street, near the intersection of 22nd Street. 9 people shot, 5 remain hospitalized. They said it's not associated with the celebration with the Denver Nuggets. Yeah, 2 men have been taken into custody. Relevant to the incident, somebody is 22 and somebody is 33. And one of them is black. They got his picture right in here.
They what?
One of them is black. They have one of the gentleman's pictures.
Out here wilding. He's probably the only black dude in Denver.
They ain't balling. It's
Nah,
hard to
for
say.
real. Yeah,
It's
pray for
hard.
them
It's
people.
hard. It's hard to say. Um, I think about that. I think about when I went to it through a Heritage 2 years ago. I think about the 5-year-old shooting his teacher in the stomach. I think about the kid who shot the graduate and his father at the graduation. I think about the Walmart shooting. I think about the white guy that went to church, murdered 8, 9 people. Like, I don't know how to really wrap my mind around exactly what's going on, other than, I know we report these things because that's what the news is supposed to do. It's supposed to keep us informed. But at the same time, is that sensationalizing this stuff and giving people who's already off keel a little bit ideas? Because people, we copy what we see. That's what we do. We're people. People are not too much different from viruses, man. If you look at how we move like a virus. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how if it will stop. This seems to be an American issue. I'm not saying mass shootings don't happen elsewhere, but this is it's extremely American. Or am I tripping?
I mean,
Nah.
well, so like the UK, you know what I'm saying, they got a law against guns and stuff like that. So you ain't gonna have a mass stabbing. You know what I'm saying? They might stab one or two people, but they ain't really out here shooting like that because they ain't really allowed to have guns. I do feel like it is an American thing, like for the most part, just because broadly across most states you are allowed to have guns to some degree, most states. Whereas these other countries, a lot of countries you can't have guns in there just as the country, and then some of the bigger countries, yeah, it might be divided up between the states, but they also don't broadcast a lot of negative things unless it is something, that really should be on the news. Like we be having a lot of dumb stuff on the news, and then you might turn on and you see some cat videos and shit on the news. So it's like our news is really segregated about what they want us to see. So I definitely think that's part of the problem. But I think as far as the mass violence, definitely America, but everywhere else has similar, same amount of violence. It's just not in the mass because they don't have the same tools. So I think that's definitely something that they're trying to forcefully push on us to a degree.
I think is a byproduct of us being a capitalist society. A capitalist society is fed and bred by money. So if the dollar bill is first, whatever is going to lead you to that dollar is going to have priority. What I mean by that, I know we say, all of us do this, say, white people don't want us, or the powers that be don't want us to see this, or they do want us to see this, or this, or what they push on us. And I believe that to an extent, but not in that way. I think they care more about the algorithm. I really don't think they care what we see. I think they want us to see whatever's going to make a buck. They're going to put the cat video on the news because if you look at cat videos on YouTube, those are the highest, some of the highest numbers. They're going to put the violent stuff on TV because that's what we're going to tune into. If church, if church services had 8 billion views, guess what would be on TV? Church services. So I'm on my philosophical shit right now. Is government and policy driving society, or society driving policy and government?
Any thoughts, 4/5, Pinky Rain?
Man, I'm still thrown. Don't come to me for a second, brother. I'm still processing. This y'all cooking. I'm listening. I'm
I
just
got
listening.
you.
Um,
Smalls?
I feel like, man, it's I don't know. It just seems like over time, and we could do decades, centuries, or whatever. Like things just get worse and worse and worse, right? That's what like the older people say. Oh, we living in the last days and things of that nature. My opinion is things have always been worse and getting worse, but I think it's just always been a society of kill or be killed. Period. I don't care what part of the country we're living in or the globe. It's just always been like that here on earth. And I only say that because a long, long time ago they was fighting with knives and axes on a big battlefield, 3,000 people, close range. Now I can shoot you from a distance, and I think in another 100 years it's just going to be another different type of weapon. I just think things are going to always evolve when it comes to life and death, when it
I think
comes
that's the
to
word, Vaughn. Evolve.
crime.
That's it.
You know, when it just comes to crime and us hurting each other, I just think things are just getting worse every. I can't even put a number on it, bro, because tomorrow morning we could wake up and it might be some new shit. Like, it's sad. Can we control it? I feel we can control it. I just feel they don't want to. It's too much money for them to lose. The NRA, it's about money, bro. They don't
Yeah.
care. They have their little joint once a now and then when something crazy go down. But if they wanted to stop it, bro, they can stop it, bro.
Yo, I got a way. I got a way that we can do gun control. It's only really one way. One, and I ain't trying to be funny. Okay, we talk about reparations. Let's say they give us the reparations, right? If every black male goes and buy a gun the day they give us reparations, wait to see what the gun control laws be the next day.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I'm done processing. May I had the talking stick for 2 seconds.
Yes, sir.
All right, so to me, it like kind of how you just went back. You spent the block and went back to the reparations because this is what really is just processing and not digested. 400 years. I know
Mm.
I'm not trying to sound redundant, but this is the thing. What we
No, you
talking about?
good. Good.
We
Good.
talking about the crime. We talking about black on black crime. We talking about poverty. We talking about mass shootings. We talking about society in America.
Mm-hmm.
So we've technically been like my baby was over here politicking. We've been slave minded way more longer than we've been free minded, right? So technically, it's almost not even the fact that we've been like all our habits, even us sitting around the campfire right now talking about what this person doing, this slave is over here doing, and how boss treating them over there. Like it's the same shit. Essentially, what I'm saying is we have way more ingrained 400 years of habits. Most of the things that we do, whether we drink our pain away, go down to the alley, or go to the sugar shack, or go to the this, so that. What I'm saying is we have
Woman, deeper than
400
that,
years of
womanizing
slave
too.
habits, huh?
Mm.
Add womanizing in there. We was bred, bro.
Womanizing the whole night, like everything that we kind of do that our parents didn't have, like you said, the misteachings just got pat 400 years of teach. So I'm just processing that number. So we've been slaves longer than we've been free. We've had slave teachings longer than we've had new thoughts. Now we're trying to get together in little forums like this so we can open up our minds and do different things. So the same way we have 400 years of slave behavior, they have like 400 years of slave master behavior ingrained
Mm.
into them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And now we all trying to work at the target together right next to each other. You know what I'm saying? So it's ill. It's just, man, I'm telling you, it's got to be a lot more dialogues like this, bro. That's all.
That was deep. The fact that
That's
you
real
I,
though.
said
I got a
we
question
we in
based on
Target
what you
trying
said.
to work next to each other. That was deep. That was so real. Go ahead,
Question for
bro.
the
Who?
room: how do you feel like we get rid of those habits? I got a
Bruh,
thought.
we're going to have,
Mm. Mm, mm,
I
mm, mm.
mean, man,
That's a million
listen,
dollar question.
I don't know if I
listen,
should
I'm going to
laugh
tell
at
you
that.
where it starts, in my opinion. I'm not trying to even. I was just sitting back because I'm really just my mind blown. Like you said, I'm just over here just thinking about so much right now. But I think it starts phrase with us getting together like this. But also we got to start having, like you said, we don't even be wanting to dialogue with people. I think when you was talking about the Jocelyn thing earlier, people don't even want to be around people that challenge their train of thought. So we got to
Right.
start dialoguing with those other cultures and societies that didn't grow up in 400 years of oppression, don't have 400 years of brokenness and trauma in their mind. So we've got all this bad habits and stuff like that. We got to start dialoguing with the other side
And
sometimes and get some understandings.
what we're doing right here is the perfect example of that. Part of why the rules that P lay out, he lays them out for a reason, not so much for us, but if we have guests, we know how conversations go left amongst some of our people that are not used to having healthy dialogues where they can disagree respectfully. That's half of the problem. We as a culture mix up disrespect and disagreements. somebody can disagree with you and not be disrespectful.
Hell yeah.
But a lot of times in our
Oh, you
society, if somebody
cooking?
Yeah, you
disagrees with
talking,
you,
bro.
you want to punch them in the mouth. You want to punch them in the mouth. Why? Because I disagree with you. That's soft
You talking,
to
bro.
me.
You
In
talking.
my metaverse, that's soft. Where in other person's metaverse, they'll call me soft because I want to talk it out.
Or you a
And
hater?
yeah, how do you? But how do you? How do we coexist? Is the question.
I, I have an opinion. It's only an opinion, just because
Talk to me.
it will never be more than that for real, because everybody won't be to that. But I feel like spiritually we gotta grow, and by spiritually I ain't necessarily saying closer with God, because if you growing spiritually, you will become closer to God, no matter what, because God is spiritual. So with that being said, I feel like if you operate under a level of suspicion, for instance, feel as though everything that you was taught and everything you know about your life is, it has some type of lie to it. Whether we was taught it in religion, taught it in school, taught it in finance, taught it in life, it was all wrong and it was misleading. Everything. So a lot of times when you go trying to find something spiritually, you're going to start doing research. That research is what's going to connect you and let you find your ancestors, find the lies in the Bible, find the different things that they added in there that is hard to have that discernment with, to say that God wouldn't, God is love. Why would he say anything like this? Jesus is really going to tell you, the rebellious person that Jesus was is going to tell you to honor the slave master. So certain things in there, like, it'll give you
But
discernment, but
that's
you wanting to know spiritually, once again, not necessarily God, because that's a little bit touchy with everybody, but trying to
yo, you
connect to
cooking.
yourself spiritually in earth and things like that, you'll start to find the different truths, because it's going to be there.
But that's okay. Let me tell you where you cooking at, Black. And y'all follow me for a minute. I'm gonna get to something. Trust me, I promise you. Religion is not no religion unless you're talking about devil worshiping is inherently evil. Not in the basis of it. No religion. Guns are not evil. In the base is a machine for purposes. It's not evil. Facebook is not evil. A car is not evil. None of these things are evil that are not human. Think about, when do these things become evil? When you add what to it?
Humans.
What can you humans? You have to add a human element to all these things for them to even be evil. So we need to look in the mirror at what the real evil is that's troubling all of us. And it's not a gun. It's not Facebook. It's people.
And you on fire. You on
But
fire,
but
bro.
but what make us, and I'm not gonna say what make us evil, but what make us uh give me a word, X, because you the master at this, but I'm not saying slow, but I'm gonna just say what make us unprogrammed the way we should be programmed spiritually is we're not conditioned to be spiritually conditioned. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Whoo, boy.
You know what I mean?
Listen,
Like we I feel like I've always said this. I feel like there's something missing that keeps us from really
What
feeling that
can,
higher
can I tell you what
power.
it is?
Go ahead, Black.
It's the, for one, spirituality was taught to us wrong. Most of us was taught it in a Christian sense, or maybe Muslim, things like that. But nonetheless, a Christian sense, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, that itself is incorrect. We don't come into this world without a woman. So how can you not have her a part of that? So it was originally woman, man, and son. Not a spirit didn't have anything through it. The spirit was all within all three. So
Mm,
this, you
cooking.
essentially, you got to start back with the research and can recondition yourself. You might have
Mm,
some teachers and things like that, but it's not going to be taught to us. We have to find it. We have to search for it.
mm,
That's, once you search for it, you will find it, because it's the
We
intent. Once you have intent to find it, it will happen. Everything will be manifested in your life. Everybody on this phone done had that one girl, like, damn, she gonna be my girlfriend. If I could just get to her. A couple of them maybe slipped away because she like your ugly ass. But that one did. Nigga, that one on accident. That was a manifestation.
yeah.
So if you want something enough, it will happen. Once you put that intent behind trying to grow spiritually and find those answers, it will come. It might not come in the time that you want, but don't get deterred. Just continue with it. Because that's the
My
only way. If we recondition ourselves spiritually, we break that DNA pattern. That way, if we have kids now, you know, they're not going to have the same habits we did when we was growing up. And now if we already have kids, we know how to instill in them certain things so they can break that pattern. Because certain patterns, just from our
It
dads not being there, niggas might not want to get up and go to work every day, might not treat your
yeah,
mom a certain way,
my
certain shit
my
that just
theory.
don't.
I have a
it's seven
theory.
o'clock. We got to find a conclusion soon. But go ahead, X.
Okay. My theory is that we are we're made up of our hurts and our trauma. What I mean by that is we pass that trauma on inadvertently and we damage other people, not always on purpose. I look at, I work in a school building and the kids that are constantly suspended, constantly getting in trouble, not all of them are abused at home. That's not the case, but something along the line is affecting them, some type of trauma, and that hurt that they feel, they're manifesting it through other things. So if a kid is wilding out in school, imagine how hurt they are. And when I say hurt, I don't mean in the sense of balled up in the corner at the house crying, feeling pain. Y'all think I know what? I think y'all know what I'm getting at with this.
Yes, sir.
Um, we all have something that hurt us. Let's say as a woman did something to us when we was young, and now we treat all women according to what this one woman did, or we're dealing with a woman and we're paying for the sins of what another man did. And now whatever that man did, she's stolen onto you. Now she's hurt you. You go on to the next woman, you hurt her because of how you got hurt, based on how she got hurt, and it just keep going. That's the thing that if we can find a way to reconcile that part or to understand that part, then we can make some gains.
Hmm. I like that. That was nice too. Hmm. I like that.
You got a conclusion for us, Falls? Phrase?
I mean, shit, I
Definitely.
want to keep cooking, but nah, like we can
Hey,
we can go
I'm
ahead and
on.
wrap it up.
I'm
Oh, I
on.
say it like this:
Anybody got to go?
trauma
They got to
changes
go. I'm on
DNA.
though.
Trauma changes your DNA. So try to heal your trauma. Try to heal your trauma so you can restore your DNA.
Mm.
Most niggas don't know they
Mm,
have trauma. Things that you feel like was easy in life might be trauma to somebody else. Life is about
Mm.
perspective. Try to change your perspective on your own life to help you find your
mm,
trauma.
I
And
don't.
knowing how to adjust. But see, the thing with that phrase, I agree. I agree. Try to change your perspective, change, and heal that trauma. But the tools and the resources that you need, or that you will want to take those steps. Again, I think that's where we were talking about certain habits, like learning how to disagree with people respectfully and things of that nature, even going about the tools of changing your spiritual, because we got to accept some of our older heads mistaught us, not maliciously, but because they were mistaught. So some of us get caught up in a not wanting to go against the elders for some of the teachers, thinking it's a disrespect. It's just that we are open to new resources. Just like what we're saying is, some of those things, we got 400 years of indoctrination and being like a sheep. So we're still in the mind of thinking, a lot of us, therapy, that's for white people. Vegetables, that's for white people. That's, certain things are for this one and that one. And we got to, part of trying to heal those traumas is get out of some of those things and trying new things, or dealing with people that don't necessarily look like you, that didn't grow up like you. And you can't heal your trauma with another nigga with the same trauma as you. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Sometimes, and that's just my POV on it.
Respectfully,
mm.
trauma is real, man. Trauma is something that is definitely passed down, even if it's not what they say by blood on blood, genetically or whatever. You can see it as a child in your home, whether if it's dealing with your mom and your dad, or your dad not there, your dad locked up, he never around, mom's on drugs, whatever the case may be. We see trauma as a child. That goes back to how we were conditioned. We are conditioned to be slaves. Look at what we love the most. We love this. We love fabrics that's not even made for us, bro. You know what I'm saying? We in here, people want to buy $2,000 Louis sweaters and $500 flip flops. Like that don't make no sense. You still a slave, bro. Like we
Talk,
lost.
talk. Yes,
We are
sir.
lost in
Yes,
so
sir.
many different ways. Whether if it's just the trauma or just the mental condition of still being a free slave. That I think that's worse. You free and
Yes,
you
sir.
still a slave.
You
God
saying it? Hey,
damn.
yo, Spars, we have 400 years of being a sheep. They have 400 years of being a wolf. So, like you said, even in our mind, when we try to aspire for something, we, like you said, we get the Louis sneakers or this and that. You still just want to be a big sheep.
Mm,
You're not
Hey,
still, you know what I'm saying? So it's
mm-hmm.
crazy.
alluding to what y'all said, and I just want to ask y'all this, and this might be a good way to close. I don't know. I'm cooking. I'm enjoying. So y'all tell me what y'all want to do. But I just want to say, and four fifth, I think you alluded to this. No knock on my parents whatsoever. No knock on any of our parents. They did the
Right.
best they could do in situations that was handed to them. I look at all y'all brothers, and I consider y'all very intelligent, smart brothers. But I have to ask this question because me and Pete talk about this all the time. If you were raised in a different household, in what's considered, I guess, an ideal American household, two parents, middle, upper class, educated, could have gave you some of the tools that may have not been provided to you as a youngin. What would you possibly be now at this stage in your life compared to where you at, where we all at?
I'm gonna
I'm
go
gonna
first real
answer.
quick.
Go ahead. Go first.
I feel like I could be further, let's say like career wise, just because it was a single parent, my mom, you know what I'm saying? So that I just feel like career wise and maybe some of my things mentally, I might be a little bit further. But I don't think I would be where I'm at spiritually, having my spiritual awakening, me trying to
Hmm.
find truth and connecting and shits, my heart softening, caring for others, the empathy that I feel now, all this shit just happened within the last 3 years. I don't think if I didn't go through the things I went through with my mom, I would be able to have that breakthrough. So
Gotcha.
I wouldn't want that change, me personally, because of that.
Uh, I'm gonna stay on topic, right? I'm gonna stay right on topic, but I'm gonna just speak on my own experience because I can't think about what if, because that what if child still may have the characteristics of the person I am today. I don't know. However, just to go back to trauma a little bit, and when it comes to us understanding our trauma, some of us don't want to believe we have issues, right? Like, I don't got no fucking problem, like whatever, right? But however, for me, I had to be forced to sit down in a group session therapy, right? If you know my history, uh, all I ever did was marijuana, right? No bullshit. But I had to go sit down with some real hardcore drug addicts, bro. And what X just said about, living in a two-family home, and I got the world at my fingertips, right? Mommy and daddy gonna set the world up for me. However, things still happen to people that live in those places. Whether if okay, because now my life's so good, right? Mommy and daddy was letting me take a sip of beer at 12. That's trauma. That's the first rule of thumb right there. I'm stuck at 12 years old. I done turned 36 and I'm still 12 years old because of them couple of sips of alcohol they will let me have every other weekend. You feel what I'm saying? So things will take us in places we don't want to go sometimes that we don't even know. You could have everything at the world at your fingertips and still not have it together because conditionally, mentally, we still fucked up. That's my take on that.
Hmm.
Bro, Fifth, you got some?
Man, listen, I'm just saying I enjoyed y'all today, man, for real. I'll just echo kind of what Smalls was saying. My aunt, she worked in the mental health profession for years, and so did my mother. But she told me that specifically that they teach them when they deal with people with drug problems, they find out at what age did they start, because she
Mm-hmm.
said that is the age that stifles their growth. So if
Yep.
you started at 16, it don't matter if you 45. She said she'll deal with them as if they were 16. Yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
just like my son as developmental delay. He's autistic or whatever. My youngest son. So it's like certain areas, like he's 9, certain areas where he prospers as like what they call neurotypical 9 years old, and then there's areas where he's more like 5 or 6. And I think, to be honest, learning what I've learned through autism, stuff like that, being an autism dad, is we all on some level of that spectrum with the traumas and the growth
Right.
stunts and things like that.
Right.
Facts.
Yeah, like you said, man, I've seen a lot of 2-parent homes where people be like, man, don't think it's all what is cracked up, because, like you said, that conditioning and that trauma, that shit don't discriminate sometimes.
Mm, mm.
Yes.
Pinky Ring, what's good, Pinky Ring? You got to give us something, man. You got to give us something. And
His
I ain't
mic might
talking
not
about
be
no
working.
ye. It's not?
I don't know. It's 50-50 shot.
Okay, okay, okay. Well, P, tell us how you feel, man, because we can always hit the stop record button and keep cooking, man. We can talk about anything in this train. You know how we do.
Yeah, we got to wrap up just so the recording to go right. If y'all want to stay after I wrap up, just so they stop it at a great space, so it sounds professional, y'all can do that. I mean, absolutely. I think it's it's I don't I it's a 2-parent home, it's a 1-parent home, it's an educational thing, it's an environment thing. It's a lot that go into it. It's hard to put it on one thing. I done seen so many situations. I done seen 2-parent homes that didn't prosper. I done seen single-parent homes that prosper past the 2-parent home. So
Right,
it's all about, I guess, if I could put it in simple terms, I think it's all about your personal village. Like, even if you're in that single parent home, if you got grandmama down the street or a close auntie, supportive uncle, and you got like outlets to go to, I think you could prosper, and people to give you different perspectives. I think you could prosper versus if you got everybody to what we was talking about with the same mentality. If everybody got the same mentality and it's not necessarily positive, it's gonna be harder to grow, in that environment.
mm,
So that's my statement. Let me just wrap up the podcast portion. Y'all still want to cook? Y'all can still cook. This Respected Goats. We here every other Tuesday, 6 p.m. Season finale, January 25th. Check us on the Red Room. Follow them on the Red Room YouTube. That'll be live June 25th. GOAT Bars and Verses. That's hosted by Jay Skizzle. Live performances. Check it out. You don't want to miss it. Download that Go First app for all exclusives. It's on everything Amazon and everything Roku TV, man. And we'll see y'all next week.